Okay, thanks for joining me again. Coming back to it now. Edge finishing. I did a video a few weeks ago, really, on edge finishing, which was basically how I slick the edges. But there's a way to get the edge gloss, the luster up, that I've only just unlocked today. And obviously, Patreon, get to know first. So, let's try and get the light better, actually. There we go. So you can still see the individual layers of the sheaves. That would be the front folded round, the back, and the welt in the middle. So that is dyed. That's only dye. That's not using edge coat. This one here has got black edge coat. Okay, but it's also got something extra. So the sequence of events, the normal sort of way of doing the edges, would be using the belt grinder on the platen and the idlers, 36 grit, 120, and then the Trizact. Because what I found is that because I'd used the next one, which is a 600 finishing belt on metal, it would make the leather go black, really black, and ruin it. So I'd have to finish it back down to the Trizact, and I couldn't get through the 600. But what I've managed to do is think, well, I've already used the 1000 finishing belt, P1000, with the cork black finishing belt from Grand Flatstock. So I went 36, 120, and then gently went up to the 1000 to give me a better finish. By the time I got to the 1000, you could actually feel if it went different if you went the other way, because the nap of the leather, it was, you know, the fibres in the leather, you need to go one direction only. So 36 grit, 120, probably a 400, and then 600, 800, 1000. I went straight to the 1000 because my other belt, as I say, 600, 800, have all been used for metal so much, I was just basically making a leather black. It wasn't working. So I took it back using the 1000 by going over and over and over it. So now I've got the finishing, i.e. the grit finish, on 1000. Now you could then go by hand and go 1200, 1500, 2000 and add infinitum. Okay, that's not what I was exploring today in terms of what I could put on there to get that high gloss finish. And then obviously if it's glossy, if it's thick, it's protecting, and that's the whole point of what you want an edge finish for. You don't want any ingress of dirt, grease, stuff into your leather. You want it sealed, you want it closed off, you want it completely finished. So the next stage after that, you've gone up through the grits, would be to put your colour into it. So what I used was the same dye, okay, of which is that. Now these were dipped at a dilute, so I just use straight brown, so they've got a brown edge, but obviously it's a lot darker than the actual leather face, as it were. So it doesn't have to be that dark, it could be the same blonde finish as this. So now I've dyed it, and then I went back to the grinder and then back to dyeing it, so it's all basically gone out as the dye went on. I'm using a cotton bud, could have used a dauber, but you're just messing up with the nap of it so much. I just went back to the 1000 and finished it off, and then dash of dye. It's the next stage that does it. Okay, then you slick it as normal. Okay, but you slick all the way around, up, down, up, down, up, down, and right when you're finished, you go like that, like that, and like that. You actually try and force the nap of the leather down the last 5 strokes one direction only, which was the down the whole time you were finishing. All right, really working it in. Secret sauce. Then it's Resolene. Who knew? Okay, then it's Resolene. Resolene is the next stage, and that puts that lustrous, shiny finish on. I did 2 or 3, I think it was 3, using a cotton bud applications on every edge. Once that was dry, stack them up, stack them up, stack them up. Then I went back with the other end of the cotton bud, and it was a wax finish and buff. So, taking the abrasive finish up to at least 1,000, slick it. Resolene is the key. Resolene is the difference. It's not to do with the actual finish, i.e. the gritty, slicky finish. The lustrous, deep coat, as it were, that most of that reflective look you've got, high gloss finish, is the Resolene. And then you could up that a little bit with a protective coat of wax, and then you buff it. Who knew? Well, so I thought I'd share that with you, so you know first. But you could do that on top of edge coat. So this has been finished edge coat, Resolene, wax. So edge coat isn't the final stage. Edge coat gives it edge coat finish, then Resolene, then wax. Alright, obviously edge coat giving a more full black than it would be dye. You know, that's dyed finish. That's edge coat, and this one here is a middish brown edge coat. So edge coat, Resolene, wax and buff. Yes. Another step forward for Wessex Blades. So the secret sauce, at the end of the day, Resolene. Resolene. Gonna make my sides of my sheath shine like more than they ever been. Resolene.